Why silence makes her respect you more. Let me say something that most guys don't want to hear. Silence does not make you weak. It exposes who already didn't respect you. Because if someone only values you when you are explaining yourself, you were never respected to begin with. Most guys are thinking that silence is dangerous, that if you don't respond, if you don't clarify, you don't defend yourself, you will lose her. But what actually happens is the opposite. Because silence doesn't chase approval. Silence reveals inner authority. So today I'm going to explain why silence makes her respect you more, why most men give their power away the moment they feel uncomfortable, and why in real life, the calmest man always controls the outcome. Why most guys talk too much. Most guys are not talking because they want to communicate. They talk because they want to feel a relief, whether that be relief from tension, relief from uncertainty, relief from the feeling of not knowing where they stand. Here's a real situation. A woman makes a comment that seems slightly off. Not disrespectful, but testing. Ambiguous enough to create discomfort. Most men respond immediately. They explain their intent. They soften their tone. They clarify what they meant. But notice what's happening. He's not responding from strength. He's responding from instability. Trying to regain emotional balance by talking. Talking way too much. And the moment you seek balance from somebody else, you already place them above you. Men who talk too much are not expressive. They're unsettled. I'm gonna say it again. Men who talk too much are not expressive. They're unsettled. Silence, on the other hand, comes from grounding. The thing you have to understand is that silence doesn't just communicate confidence. It filters people. Watch how different people react once you stop filling the space. Some get anxious, some push harder, some suddenly reveal impatience or entitlement. Others slow down, they listen, they observe, they adjust. Silence removes the background noise that people hide behind. It's like lowering a volume in the room. When the noise drops, you finally hear who's comfortable with themselves and who needs constant stimulation to feel secure. Respect doesn't come from engagement. It comes from selectivity. And silence is selective by nature. The reason why silence creates respect, respect isn't built through persuasion. It's built through self-trust. When you don't rush to respond, you're sending a message without having to communicate, without saying a word. You're basically saying, I'm stable enough to wait. Think about it in everyday situations. A call goes unanswered. A message sits unread. One man panics and compensates later. Another man responds when he's ready. Same pace, same tone, no apology. You see the difference there? Same situation. Two complete outcomes. Two completely different impressions. One looks reactive, the other one looks grounded. Trust creates respect. Urgency destroys both. The problem is that most men are giving too much access way too quickly. Access to their time, access to their emotions, access to their attention. Most are doing it without intention. It's not intentional. But you have to understand that access is currency. Not everybody's allowed to have access to you. Not everyone's allowed to have communication with you. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. You got to be able to know when to respond, know when not to respond. Not everyone is worth your time, your energy. Especially as a high-value man, you got to understand that not everything is worth a reaction. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, you can see right here, where when somebody's testing you, especially when it comes to females, you don't react. Never react emotionally, but intelligently. Especially in real-life situations as well, too, where you have a lot to lose. You have certain situations where, yes, you want to do this, you think it's masculine, you think you got to show your dominance. Maybe you're with peers, maybe with friends, people who you think you need to impress. You don't need to do any of that. A real calm, a real grounded man, a real guy that's sure of himself, that knows exactly who he is, don't got to prove himself to anybody. Don't got to respond to sneak disses, don't got to respond to minor fixes, because you'll realize, like I've always mentioned, that you will always be tested, no matter what, and that's a guarantee. You can guarantee that for sure. So the man who gives it freely teaches others it has no value. The man who gives it deliberately creates gravity. Silence isn't withdrawal. It's control over access. You're not disappearing. You're deciding when and where your presence belongs. People instinctively respect what feels intentional. Silence is not to be used as a tactic. This part is important. This part matters because silence is not a strategy. It's not waiting for a reaction. It's not pretending you don't care. If you're silenced while hoping or waiting for a response, you're still dependent. Real silence doesn't watch outcomes. It comes from emotional independence. The man who is truly silent isn't rehearsing conversations in his head. He isn't monitoring reactions. He isn't adjusting himself to maintain interest. He's centered. He's laser focused. He's locked in. He stays the same regardless of what's going on around him, regardless of how she's trying to manipulate or trying to act different to throw him off balance, to throw him off. Because when you're laser focused, you realize, especially this in life, when you have your goals, when you're driven on your mission, you're laser focused, there's always outside forces trying to disrupt you. That's why when you level up, whenever you stop moving a certain way, you started aligning yourself with your desires, mentally, you're laser focused. You will realize that there's always people trying to bring you back to this frequency. People trying to bring you back to a certain environment that you were once comfortable with, they once knew you as, and they see that you're trying to grow. No matter how many times you tell them, I'm not trying to do this no more, I'm doing this. That's why I always say, move in silence. Don't tell people what you're working on, just go and do it. Because when you do give people access to let them know what you're working on, some will try to tear you down by simultaneously trying to bring you back. Hey, let's go out one more time. I know you don't drink, but just one night. It's on me. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Most people will fold. Some people will still hold themselves together and say, yo, I'm good. Those are strong individuals, strong, like-minded men. But what many people will do, especially when they're not in tune with themselves, when they see your discipline is starting to become a daily thing, like, whoa, we can't throw them. They will try to bring you back. They will try to throw you off center. Sometimes most times intentional, sometimes not. Sometimes they miss the old you. Sometimes they want to one night out. Oh, it's my birthday. But you can't. You made a sacrifice, because in life you always have to sacrifice something. I'm not saying you got to take somebody's life. But you will realize if you want to achieve new heights, if you want to reach a certain level, you always have to sacrifice something. Whether that's the old you, whether that's something that's you have to give to receive what you want. Whether that's removing old people from your life, whether that's changing your daily habits, whether that's changing who you are as a person to become the best version of yourself, you have to sacrifice. So being centered is vital, because a centered man doesn't chase clarity. They allow clarity to come to them. Most men never learn this. They spend their lives explaining themselves to people who were never meant to understand them. They waste their time explaining themselves on people who already decided who they are, how they feel. They think respect is earned by saying the right thing. But respect doesn't come from words, it comes from standards. It responds to standards. Silence is a standard. Don't let that go over your head. Silence is a standard. It communicates, I don't over-explain. It signals, I don't rush comfort. And I don't negotiate my worth out loud. And the world adjusts accordingly. I promise you, 1000%. That's why I tell you guys, you can believe something, you can want something, but if you are consciously, you do want this, but subconsciously you don't, what's going to happen? You're going to see the results from your subconscious thoughts, because you are telling yourself you can't do it. That's why I'm big on be mindful of who's around you. Many people think I'm excessive when I say you don't need friends. I already mentioned previously that, yes, certain friends, but you shouldn't have more friends that you can count on the hand, because those are not friends. Those are acquaintances. Those are maybe co-workers, this, that. You have to understand, you need to be around people who are like-minded, who have the same goal as you and that want you to win with no outcomes. Those are the people that will keep you at a certain frequency that will help you elevate. But internally, you don't really need anything but yourself. You need to shift your frequency. You need to shift your mindset to allow yourself to understand that you can receive this blessing. You don't have to listen what other people are telling you, because they are stuck at a certain wavelength, because they don't see the results. They are thinking about it. They are dreaming about it, right? God gave us a conscience. God gave us the ability to daydream, to think. What is that? Why do you think he gave us the ability to imagine? You can sit down and imagine how you want to be in 5 years or next week, or for a reason, and you need to act on it. You have those thoughts for a reason. It's not just, this might go over a lot of people's head, right? Anything you think about, and I truly do mean this, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, but anything that you envision, it is all up to you if you want to make it a reality. That's why I try to incorporate these in these videos, because I'm not just a dating coach. I'm not going to be what they want me to be. I know exactly who I am. I've achieved certain things in my life based off how I changed my mindset, how I changed my frequency, how I had to make tough sacrifices. And I'm talking about tough. Talking about situations where it hurts, right? But I had to do it. And whenever I did, I always saw myself elevate. always saw the life I wanted, always was able to create the financial freedom that I wanted. And it was all based off how I viewed myself, how I talked to myself, what I let come to my ear, what I let linger in my thoughts. Some people think I'm excessive when I say, oh, I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies, I don't play games. I was once on that, and I once abused it, right? If you can balance it, then balance it. Do what you know yourself better than anybody else, right? But don't lie to yourself. That's one thing. I used to lie to myself. So you cannot lie to yourself. If you want to reach certain heights, if you want a certain outcome in life, you have to make the sacrifice in order to receive it. You can't always want, you can't manifest, you can't dream about something, but then you're not aligning with it. You're not moving like it. You're not walking like it. You believe it, but you doubt yourself at the end of the night when you're just you alone, laying down in bed, say, I can't do it. You're listening to what peers saying. The biggest reason why I say be very mindful of the people around you, because they can either elevate your dreams or they can crush it. If you are having constant, maybe 5 to 6 people, you're in a group chat, or you're hanging out, you're talking to them, that, hey, I'm gonna be real with you, man. This is not your lane, don't do it. They're telling you constantly, day in, day out, what's gonna happen? I'm asking you, what's gonna happen? You're gonna start inevitably believing, oh yeah, they're right. I'm tripping. How dare I? How dare you what? No, man. Nobody can tell you. You have to understand, everything's already written. It's up to you if you're going to achieve it, if you're going to chase after it, if you're going to move to a different mindset, if you're going to move to a different alignment. If you really want something, stay centered, stay locked in on it, day in. You will manifest it to real life. That's how the world adjusts accordingly. The universe works in ways that many people do not understand. They think they have it figured out, but they don't. They don't. If you are someone like me that solo travels and you are scared, nothing wrong with that, right? You can have fears, but you have to remove all fears in life. I could have thought, man, I'm going to give up. I'm about to cancel my flight. There's no way I'm going to go in Africa 18 hours away, 22 hours away. By myself, don't know anybody there. Someone's going to kidnap me. Someone going to rob me. No. And I realized that early on, my first trip ever to California when I was in college, by myself, I had those fears. I even canceled my first trip because of, I was reading online, be careful, don't wear red, don't wear blue, all this bullshit. Right? Just certain situations, just like, man, I want to get this, that, and the third. The moment I realized, I felt more comfortable and I felt confident that I was good, right? I had to remind myself, I'm a secondary black belt. I dare someone to try me. Yes, granted, not everyone likes to fight, right? Whatever happens, happens. But I know in the back of my mind, I'm good. I'm good. Once I realize that, once I realize whatever's in my head, how I see myself, how I view myself, how I treat others, how I perceive, you will be good. If you are someone that you slime people, you do dirty, expect that to come back to you. Duh. What do you expect? You won't see it immediately probably, but eventually it will come back to you. If you're a good person, you understand that you are safe, you got God with you, what is there to fear? What is there to be worried about? Once I realized that, I started traveling across the world and I never once felt like I was in danger. Even during times of uncertainty, even during times where I was being challenged, tested, maybe getting bumped into certain places. I remember being in Egypt in a museum, some dude bumps into me. I was with my tour guide and he looked at, yo, you good? And he looks at me, he's like, he thinks I'm going to react because he's seen my boxing videos on Instagram, this, that, and I literally looked at the guy, control myself because I got heated, right? Looked at him, kept him, just completely ignored it. Let it go by. And he looked at me, he said, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. I was like, you saw that? He said, yeah, man, I thought you was going to knock him out or some shit. I was like, I looked at him, I was like, that crossed my mind, but I'm constantly aware. I'm in a whole different country. I do the one wrong move, I don't know how their system works. I can get locked up for, we see it online, right? Like people get locked up and stuck in certain countries because of reaction, because of something they brought, because of something that they couldn't control their emotions. They couldn't be more disciplined and understand that not everything is worth the reaction. It's okay to let certain things slide, right? An accidental bump. Who am I to overreact? Am I insane? Younger me would have definitely overreact. Maybe if I was in the States. But even now, like I let certain things slide, especially because I have things to lose. But it's not just that. Even if you don't have nothing going on for yourself, you already know you're gonna have stuff going on for yourself. You need to know that you will achieve it. So you need to move like it right now. That's what when people hear me say that, they think I'm just talking about manifest this act like. That's not what I mean. If you want something, you have to really move with, you have to walk like you have it right now. So that means instead of reacting like a bum, a broke boy that has nothing to lose, like, oh, fuck my life, I'm gonna just crash out. No, even when you don't see it right now manually, even if you check your bank account, you don't see it in your account, you have to understand that you're going to get it. It's not I believe, I know, I am. Does that make sense? So you have to move accordingly. You have to be willing to have that emotional control to understand that certain situations are not worth your reaction. Silence is always greater than overreacting. Staying calm. The calmest man in the room will understand this. And I know you guys who do understand what I'm saying can resonate, because in life, just like Bruce Lee said, flow. Be like water. It can flow or it can crash. That determines the outcome of your life. That determines the situations that you put yourself into. And that determines how you will reach your certain goals that you have for yourself. The level of success that you want, that you truly desire. If this resonates with you and you're ready to stop reacting emotionally and stop over investing, whether that be with females, whether that just be in life, in certain situations that you are putting too much more effort in when you need to be falling back. If you want to start operating from discipline instead of impulse, I wrote a book that breaks this down fully. Not tactics, not surface level dating advice. It's about emotional control, clarity of thoughts, building an identity that commands respect naturally. The link is in the description pinned comments as well. Read it slowly, apply it quietly, and let your behavior do the talking. Remember this, guys, silence isn't empty. It's full of clarity. It's full of certainty. And men who understand that don't chase attention, don't force understanding, don't explain themselves into respect. Because life bends towards men who have already mastered themselves. This is clarity of mind, discipline, emotion. Remember, you got this. Don't overthink it. Stay calm, stay collected, stay neutral. If you guys like this video, leave a like, comment, and share this video with somebody who needs to see this. Turn the post notifications on so you can see when I post again. And until next time, guys, love y'all. You got this. Don't ever forget that. Peace and love.